two things. I want to add, or I want to set up the mesh just so that we have at least something visually shown on screen. And I want to submit this code so that you have seen at least once what that looks like. So let's open up the player character. Once again, open up the full blueprints. With the mesh component selected, I'm just going to assign the wizard character that we get with our example content. And actually, I have to make a note because I forgot to mention this before. We have a zip. What you have to do is just download it. It's about 200 megabytes. And then make sure that you unzip it under your project contents. And then it will be these three folders. It should look like this. So whatever your project is called, content, and then the example content, Paragon, Gideon, and Paragon minions. If you have those imported, then you'll have a mesh that you can use, which is what we want to assign here. Skeleton mesh. I can make this a little bit bigger. Here we have our Gideon character. I just will open up the viewport. Here we can see our character. It's a bit misaligned. This is going to be always the case with these characters. So we can just go into our transform and move it down 90 units. And we also are going to rotate it 90 on the Z, which is that yaw. Hover over Z, then we can see yaw, and over the Y, we can see pitch, and the X, it's roll. So now it's at least properly aligned. So if we compile this and play, you can at least see a static character. It's not quite what we want yet, but it's getting closer. If we go back once more, we already have a bunch of animations set up for us. We don't. It actually came with the sample content, so we can assign again with the mesh selected, and we can assign an animation class. And we already have an animation class for us available, Gideon Anim Blueprint. We'll go more in detail on how to make animation blueprints later on. But basically, the job of an animation blueprint is to look at the state of your character, like how fast are you moving, which direction, are you doing an attack, that sort of thing, and blend all kinds of animation poses and animations together into a final pose. In this case, that is that little idle pose here. But we'll cover that in a later lecture. I just want to have like at least something shown here so that we at least have something that's moving on the screen. Actually, what I want to do is just to make sure that we commit these changes so that we have at least something on GitHub and we've gone through all the steps at least once. So let's close this out. Sure, we'll save it. I'll go back into GitHub Desktop. And now what you'll see, and in your case, it's probably going to be a lot more because it's all the files that you added, the example content files and the base content files, but I had already previously submitted this. So in this case, what it will show here, if you open up your GitHub and you've set it up like we did at the start of this class, is you'll see the changes that you've made. So here we can see the changed files, and we have made, well, this is a lot of auto-generated stuff, but it also has the input that we added, our test level, our character, and the character class. And then we want to write a message, and actually I'm just going to copy one. We want to have a description of what he added, and we want to have a summary. So the summary is added as character and set up input. With this, we're pretty much ready to commit. So what this does, this commit will send it, well, not quite send it to the server yet, but it will prepare these changes as a package is sent off to the server. So we'll just commit, and it will already look as if it's sent off, but we need to do one more thing. We need to click this giant push origin button, which, as you can see, has one and an arrow up. This means that we have one local change that we still need to push to the server. So we just click this giant button that will do the upload for us. And once that's ready, I will show you that it actually has updated on GitHub. And now you can see here that 40 seconds ago, we submitted our change, and this is the message that we just typed. So now all our changes are safely on the server. We specified a message, which is especially important if you're collaborating on a project. You want to make sure that you always have every change listed that you made before you send it off to the server for your teammates to use.